Hey everybody, so this is what Deku was Lucifer slash Immortal Part 2. So, I got a lot of views on this one, so I'm just gonna get out another one. So, basically, I last left off where Deku went home, went to sleep after his whole entire fiasco with the, what was it? After his whole entire fiasco, the first day of school. So, the second day of school, Deku goes there the next day in his Lamborghini. And pretty much drives up there, parks his Lamborghini, goes inside the, building, and everybody's in their uniform. Pretty much Deku gets his uniform. Deku has his uniform on, but his sleeves are rolled up, and he is wearing his black gloves. So, actually, he's not wearing his black gloves. He's wearing a black ring. Let me show you what that ring looks like.
These pictures should match.
This is Deku's ring he's wearing. This will play a part later on in the what if, but I'm not going to talk that much about it yet. But it's going to be very important. So after that, me explaining what his ring looks like, Deku walks in class, sits down, and everybody is waiting for, Ozawa. Ozawa shows up. Pretty much the day goes on the same. A couple of girls do look at Deku and kind of get a crush on Deku. Let me name a few people in my academia that does have a crush on Deku. If I didn't explain this in the first what if, Ochaku, I didn't explain this in the first what if, but Todoroki and Bakugo are females. So yeah, Deku, so let me name, I did ginger swap a couple of people in UA, in class 1A. Todoroki is the only ginger swapped, person in the, what if for now. So, pretty much the three people that do have a crush on Deku, or Deku wants them to be his girlfriend or their fiance, is Deku likes, Momo, Ochaku, and female Todoroki, if I didn't explain that in the last what if. And all those people do have a crush on Deku, too. So eventually Deku will get his whole entire, harem, but for now, Deku's gonna have his eyes set on Ochaku this day. But later that day, All Might busts through the door and explains to the class that they're doing combat training in all his All Might glory. Deku doesn't go, oh, fanboy, because, well, he's immortal. He wasn't grown up. He didn't grow up with All Might in his life. Deku does, like All Might, but he won't even really be matter because Deku's gonna outlive All Might. So Deku gets up, and pretty much, if I didn't explain this later, one of the women that I just said do have a sort of immortality like Deku. I'll get into that later. And that ring, it's gonna be sorry guys, this is future me saying that Deku, none of the people in My Hero Academia Class 1A aren't immortal like Deku. So, get that out of the way. Get back into the story. So, pretty much, Deku, basically goes out. Everybody gets handed their hero costumes. And Deku's hero costume is a lot different than his original hero costume. Deku's hero costume is basically, let me show you. Deku's hero costume is basically just this suit. The top part of his hair costume looks exactly like this, but Deku also has black, ripped up jeans on the lower part of his outfit, and his original red shoes that he wore in canon. So Deku looks a little bit different, but it still looks the same. So Deku and his pretty much, match starts. So Deku's teamed up with Ochaku still, and Deku tries, when Ochaku will her. So they get inside the building, and Deku holds Ochaku and says, so, Ochaku, you go and try to hold off Ida while I take down Bakugo. Ochaku's about to go, but Deku realizes that that's not ladylike. That's not so ladylike for a woman to just go on and fight another guy alone. So he stops Ochaku and says, maybe you should come with me. So they walk down the, pretty much hall, going up the stairs and getting to the next getting to the next floor, and they see Bakugo walking down the hall. Bakugo sees them and pretty much instantly pulls the trigger on his gauntlet because, well, he's seen what Deku can do. So he pulls the trigger on his gauntlet immediately, pushing Ochaku back. Deku catches Ochaku and shields her with his body, and Deku doesn't get a scratch on him because Deku is flame retardant. Pretty much, she said, Bakugo says, "What the hell?" Deku, Deku pretty much lays down Ochaku. Ochaku looks at Deku with a confused looking. Deku's eyes glow red and said, "Get out of here." She gets up and walks off and says, "Be okay, Deku," and Deku gets angry by this. Instantly, Deku just disappears and reappears right behind Bakugo, and Deku grabs Bakugo's collar and chucks him through another wall, knocking him out. They're shocked that Deku can literally do all of that. So this fighting thing would be like really short, but yeah, guys, I am going to stretch this out to part 3. So yeah, guys, be in store for that. So get your snacks. Let's get ready. So Deku pretty much sprints up the stairs, and Ida's moving the bomb away from Ochaku back and forth. And Deku uses his super strength and some sort of wind pressure like Deku uses in Cannon, and his like finger flick technique when he you know how you flick your fingers? He pretty much did that with the wind pressure, knocking Ida off his feet. Deku also used his enhanced speed and agility. They run over there to catch the bomb right in time. And since he touched it, they win. So, after that, Deku's crowned the MVP because he took down Ida and Bakugo with ease. And everybody's shocked that Deku has so much strength. That's right, guys. So after Deku, doing all that other stuff, after that, everybody else is magical the same, and pretty much after that, Deku walks off. He walks back home, and everything is okay. Deku goes back to his house, and pretty much everything is okay. Deku goes to sleep that night. Before he goes to sleep, he does throw a huge party, but it doesn't really tribute with the main story. Unless you guys want me to, do something at that party and show you, what happened at that party later on in the What If. Like a flashback or something. So, yeah. So, Deku goes to sleep after that, and pretty much the next day, Deku wakes up and he goes to school. So, I am going to stretch this out to part 3. So, Deku walks in class. Everything is the same until they get to their hero course of the part of the they get to their hero course, a part of their school, and pretty much they get told that they're going to the USJ by Azawa, and All Might will meet up with us later. So they go in the USJ, they're on the bus, and pretty much they're talking about how their quirks work and explaining what their quirks are. And Ochaku asks what Deku's quirk is. Deku said, "My quirk is basically, all my physical attributes are enhanced, and I also have the ability to pretty much make people's fears come to life." Bakugo is Scott's distance is really, and Deku transforms into something that's unbelievable and actually extremely scary to Bakugo. Bakugo steps back and says, "What the hell are you?" And pretty much at this point, everybody was looking down because they thought there was going to be a fight. So Deku pretty much when he shapeshifts, he can choose who sees his form or doesn't. So, Bakugo is kind of scared of Deku, but still, pissed at Deku because, well, he's Bakugo. He's gonna be stubborn. So, Deku, after that, they stop at the bus. They stop, the bus when they get to the USJ. They go inside, and pretty much they're inside of the building. 13 explaining the whole entire gist, his whole entire speech, everything, until the portal opens up and the whole entire party is ruined, and the villains show up, and Zao starts bodying fools. Deku just standing there, not really giving a shit. And pretty much, Zao tells to take the students and get out of here and protect them. 13 tries to tell Deku to come with me, and Deku says, "Nah, I'm good." And it was 13 tries to grab Deku, and Deku just goes with him because he doesn't, blow his cover. Because Deku wants to technically be a hero. So Deku walks over there, and pretty much they're about to get to the exit of the building, and 13 gets bodied by the Shadow Guy Quark. The Quark Shadow Guy, and he pretty much separates everybody else. Deku's falling down at the water area, and Deku just moves his body to the bridge. To the boat using his strength. Deku crashes onto the boat, and he looks at Froppy, and Mineta grabs them by the collars and juts them across the whole entire water area to the shore, both of them, and then jumps into the water. All the villains are pretty much tackling Deku down to the bottom of the ocean. And Deku, in this short amount of second, Deku was just going to use his strength to swim across the water extremely fast. But he wasn't having enough time, and Deku was running out of some oxygen. So Deku, pretty much, his demon side unlocked. Deku, since he was getting tackled, and Deku wasn't really prepared to die. Deku wanted to do anything to get out of that situation, and Deku didn't have that much strength because, well, all your movements are hindered because water is very thick. Because, like, you can't run in water. Everybody knows that. So, Deku, basically, his body starts glowing red. The villains are about to, let go of Deku, but Deku transforms into his pure demon side. Deku transforms into his demon side. The villains are shocked and they're scared out of their freaking mind. They let go of Deku, but Deku grabs onto them and chucks them straight down into the ground, knocking them out, both of them. Deku noticing that a couple of the other villains are swimming away. Deku pretty much jumps up in there, grabbing both of them, grabbing all the villains that are trying to go to the surface and drowning them. Pretty much just burning them alive underneath the water, boiling the water. Deku jumps out of the water in his human form after, he kills everybody in the water. So Deku gets out the water and pretty much tells them that I just knocked them out and they're just on the bottom of the ocean. So they walk off and she doesn't believe Deku, but she just takes Deku's word. So they go and they see the Nomu fighting a couple people, and then they see Shigaraki about, the bodysuit with a touch from his quirk, and Deku pretty much just grabs, just grabs Shigaraki's hand like a cuff motion, but Shigaraki touches Deku's, wrist, disintegrating Deku's arm clean off. Deku smacks Shigaraki across the whole entire map, knocking Shigaraki cold, forcing the Shadow Guy to take Shigaraki to the base early. Deku regenerates his hand back and is pissed because that was his favorite glove and now it's gone. And that glove cost a lot of money. So Deku just uses his wind pressure to do a sonic clap straight towards the pretty much Nomu after All Might burst through the door or the ceiling fighting the Nomu. At this point, Deku does a sonic clap, pretty much obliterating the Nomu's head clean off, killing the Nomu. All Might is shocked, looks at Deku with smoke coming off of Deku's hands and saying that, well, you're welcome. And after that, the heroes show up, they round up all the villains, they take Zawa to the medical, they get some medical attention, and pretty much they get rid of the Nomu's body. So Deku is actually, praised and everything. So yeah, Deku is pretty, proud of himself. After that, everybody is sent back home after the USJ event, pretty much having a couple days off. Deku goes to his house, and pretty much he invites Ochaku over. So Ochaku comes over, and Deku pretty much had a couple drinks with her, and you can imagine what happens next, because she did come over late. So you can imagine what happens next. Yeah, you already know. After Deku going to, sleep with Ochaku in his bed, Deku wakes up the next day, and pretty much they get ready for the next APUA. next day of school. So Ochaku did stay over because she did tell her parents that she was staying over um to a friend's house to study or something, but she really wasn't. So Deku woke up and got in his uniform and pretty much woke up Ochaku, and I'm gonna leave it off here. See you guys later, and you already know what's gonna happen in part 4, so let's get into it. See you guys later. Bye.